You just don't care, no. I don't wanna play, baby, I'm just fine. I don't need you anymore.
For content information and the link to the written version of this video, please check the description below. Before we start this video, I want to give a quick thank you to my friend Chloe for helping me with the research for this video. Creating these blog entries and videos can be time consuming, so the help is very much appreciated. That said, welcome to the fourth entry in my Under the Queer Umbrella blog series and video series. In this entry, we shall be discussing the Aromantic spectrum identities. We will explain what Aromantic means and break down some identities that fall under this category, also known as Aero-Spec. I'll also mention how I fit under this category of identities too. Please consider helping me out by donating to my Cash App down below, my GoFundMe, to help with my transition, and also my commissions email is down below too. So yeah, thank you for supporting me. Disclaimer: although I've gone into this blog entry with the best intentions to educate others and done plenty of my own research into these identities by talking to those who identify with these labels and doing online research, I do not have the majority of these identities and therefore cannot speak from personal experience. If I get any information wrong, if you're comfortable, feel free to let me know in the comments and I will amend this entry as needed. My intention is to bring awareness to these identities and to educate on the beauty of queer identities. I encourage you to do your own research alongside this video. You can find the links to all of these identities by clicking on the respective links linked in the description below. So what is Aromanticism? The Aromantic spectrum, or Aero-Spec, sometimes A-Spec, not to be confused with the asexual spectrum, is a group of identities which are unified by those who either completely lack romantic attraction or feel as if their experience of romantic attraction can be related more to the aromantic experience than the alloromantic experience. There is no one way or correct way to be aromantic, and the experiences of those who identify as such can differ greatly. As always, it is important to respect the terms others use, even if you personally do not fully understand them. This entry will hopefully help those who are not aromantic understand these terms more, and possibly give those who are questioning more clarity on their own identity. It's also important to note that aromantic and asexual are not the same. Asexual refers to sexual attraction, and aromantic refers to romantic attraction. There are many forms of attraction, and I intend to explore them all in future entries. This is not a comprehensive list by any means, and we will be discussing more Aero-Spec identities in the future, so if your identity doesn't show up on this list, it's not forgotten, it will likely be mentioned at another point in the future. Before we discuss some identities that fall under the Aero-Spec, let's first briefly discuss what Aromantic is, to help see the difference between these identities. Aromantic, or Allo. Aromantic is an umbrella term created by the Aero-Spec community and is based on the term allosexual, see my A-Spec entry, to refer to those who regularly experience romantic attraction to others. Being alloromantic is often considered the societal norm, and this leads to the discrimination of those who do not conform to the allocentric ideals of society. The Aero community do experience oppression because of this, and this needs to be addressed. Being alloromantic is not inherently bad, but it does come with a privilege that those who are allo need to accept and can't ignore. Aero-Spec identities. Aromantic or Aero. Aromantic is an umbrella term for any identity which is not allo, but it can be used on its own or paired with other Aero identities. Aromanticism refers to the way romantic attraction is experienced, not to how it is acted upon. Those who are Aero can and do have romantic relationships for the same reasons as allos do. The difference comes from how romantic attraction is experienced. It's often defined as a lack of romantic attraction and could also come with a lack of desire to form romantic relationships, but it's important to remember that every Aero is different. Many Aero individuals do have romantic relationships. Aromantic does not mean you cannot experience love or want another kind of relationship, such as a platonic relationship, etc. I will be discussing platonic attraction in another entry, but for now it's important to note that platonic does not mean those in platonic relationships are just friends and are not in love. I refer to myself as aromantic, as I mentioned, is an umbrella term for all aro identities, and I'm still discovering how exactly I fit into the spectrum. I know I'm aromantic, but I don't use the term aro to refer to my specific identity. Instead, I identify with another label that you'll find later in this entry. It's also worth noting that where many aros such as myself are also ace, this is not the case for all individuals, and the two refer to two separate forms of attraction. Aro-ace. Aro-ace, or aromantic asexual by its full name, is a term referring to those whose identity falls under both the aromantic and asexual spectrums. This can be used for any combination or number of identity labels from either spectrum. As mentioned above, not all aros are also ace, but this term refers to those who are both aro and ace. Aeroflux. Aeroflux refers to those whose romantic attraction fluctuates, but mostly remains on the aromantic spectrum. Those who are aeroflux can feel strongly aromantic one day and feel demi-grey or even aloromantic on others. All those who are aeroflux experience being aeroflux differently. Some may only fluctuate between a couple of identities, and some may fluctuate between all of them. There is no right way to be aeroflux. Aerospike. Aerospike refers to those whose identity mostly experiences no romantic attraction, but occasionally has rare or sudden spikes of romantic attraction. This sudden spike of experiencing romantic attraction can persist for any amount of time, days, weeks, or even months, but usually returns back to the individual's previous state of experiencing no romantic attraction. This identity is a harmful identity. Anvil Aromantic. I am showing the flag here to warn individuals of a sign that an individual is likely to be an exclusionist. This identity was created by the Twitter user non-biaro as a way of discriminating against Aro-Spec individuals. The term refers to those who believe that aromantic is not a spectrum and only refers to those who feel no romantic attraction whatsoever. This is harmful because, as I've already mentioned, aromantic is a spectrum, and claiming your identity is the only true one invalidates hundreds of different identities. Your identity can only impact you, and shouldn't and couldn't and cannot tell others how their identity should work. This term was purely created to exclude individuals. I encourage you all to block and report the Twitter user I mentioned and to ignore all uses of this term and flag. Demi-romantic. Demi-romantic refers to those who don't experience romantic attraction until they have formed a deep emotional connection to another. The connection can be anything from sexual to platonic. This connection is different for all demi-romantics. Like all identities on this list, demi-romantic is not a choice, and those who are demi don't choose to not be romantically attracted to others until they've formed a connection. Demi-romantics can use the term demi by itself or pair it with aromantic. All Aro-Spec identities can be paired with other identities. You can be demi and bi or demi and straight. Those who are straight, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Those who are straight and a part of the Aeroflux especially get a lot of hate for pretending to be queer. This is not the case, and it's important that we remember to be inclusive to all queer identities, especially those who are constantly targeted by bigots. I'm so sorry, I don't know why my throat decided to go then. Anyway, Aromantic. Those who use this term experience romantic attraction towards those who they are not deeply connected with, and lose attraction as they get to know the subject of their attraction. Aromantic is often considered to be the opposite of demi-romantic. Grey romantic. Grey romantic refers to those who relate to aromanticism, but feel that parts of their experience don't fully fall under the term aromantic. Like all identities, it can be used on its own, or as an umbrella term that encompasses any identity that isn't purely aromantic. Heteroromantic. This term refers to those who are romantically attracted to those of an opposite gender. For example, a man who is romantically attracted to those who are women or women-aligned, or a woman who is attracted to men or those who are men-aligned. This term can be used by any gender, however. Homoromantic. This term refers to those who experience romantic attraction towards those of the same gender or similar genders to themselves. For example, a man who is romantically attracted to men, or those who are men-aligned, or a woman who is romantically attracted to women or those who are women-aligned. This term could be used by any gender. The term lesbian romantic also exists to refer specifically to those who experience romantic attraction that is sapphic. Platonic romantic. Those who use this term experience the feeling of not being able to distinguish between platonic and romantic feelings. If you're enjoying this video and the other videos on my channel so far, please consider checking out my Patreon in the link down below. For just £1 a month, or the equivalent in another currency, you will be able to see all my videos a day before they go public, as well as some behind the scenes content as well, and the chance to help me with deciding which terms go into which videos. So again, check out my Patreon link in the description down below for more content and to help support me. Back to the video. Aromantic. Aromantic describes those who have a disconnection between themselves and their subject of romantic fantasies. They may take in romantic media such as rom-coms or romantic novels, and they may partake in shipping characters together, but they have little to no romantic attraction or desire to partake in romantic activity with the subject or subjects of their romantic fantasies. The following is an exclusive identity. Cade Romantic. This term refers to those who feel that at one point they identified as Aromantic, but this was taken or cut away from them due to trauma. This identity can only be used by trauma survivors and those with PTSD, but I wanted to include it here to show just how diverse and inclusive the Aero-Spec community is. Romantic. This term refers to those who do not experience romantic attraction, but still desire a romantic relationship. Those who use this term are often romance favourable, but they don't have to be. This term can also be used by those who sometimes feel romantic attraction, but still desire a romantic relationship, even without attraction. Romantic. Those who are romantic, such as myself, may experience romantic attraction but not want it reciprocated, lose romantic feelings when they learn they are reciprocated, or may feel uncomfortable when they know an individual is romantically attracted to them. For me, I experience romantic as a feeling of romantic attraction that fades over time the more an individual is attracted to me. For me, this term matches well with being rose-sexual, see my Aspec entry, so I often refer to myself as rose, combining the two. Romantic. This term refers to those who experience romantic attraction to all genders. The attraction may be different for each gender, however, for example, they may have more of a preference for one gender or a small group of genders. They may also be attracted to different traits within each gender. Panromantic. This term refers to those who experience romantic attraction to individuals regardless of what their gender is. Like with pansexual, those who are panromantic sometimes refer to themselves as gender blind. It's also important to note that experiencing romantic attraction regardless of gender doesn't mean they are attracted to all individuals, and there may be some traits other than gender that their attraction relates to. Another important thing to make clear is that being pan does not mean they don't believe gender exists. It's just simply not the focal point of their experience of attraction. Recipromatic. Last but not least, we have recipromatic. Those who are recipromatic only feel romantic attraction for others once they know that the other individual is romantically attracted to them first. So there we go. Aromantic spectrum identities. Next time we'll be discussing physical attraction identities, and please do your own research alongside these entries, and I hope to see you next time. I plan to release the next 2 terms I learned this weekend videos, so there's plenty of Under the Queer Umbrella videos to come. One of them will be for last week, not last weekend, but the weekend before that I missed, and then the next for this past weekend, as well as so 2 of them episodes. But the next one of these videos will be the physical attraction identities. So please subscribe to see those videos and more content like this on my channel, as well as my stories, which I am going to start re-uploading again once I'm in the mood to write more. Like, subscribe, comment. I love seeing your comments and how you relate to these terms. One idea for a video that I have is for different terms used for queer individuals around the world. So if you're from another country and you have a unique term that you use for queer individuals, and you feel comfortable letting me know, I'd really appreciate your help with that concept. It's only an idea at the moment, but I'm currently working on that in my head. So my next goal is 100 subscribers by my birthday, the 23rd of August. So I'm hoping to achieve that goal. I managed to achieve my last goal, 75, by the end of July. And we are on 94 subscribers since the last time I checked before recording this video. So hopefully I'm able to reach 100 by the 23rd. It seems very possible, and I am very excited. That would be just the best birthday gift I could ever wish for. Thank you again for all following me, subscribing, liking and supporting my channel, and donating if you donate. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!